May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. Last week was kind of crazy. I haven't been trading, putting a lot of trades in the Forex market lately because things have been too volatile with the tariffs and the war and the back and forth and you know the you know it's on and off and pause and all that mess. That stuff is crazy to keep up with. And when you have markets that are too unpredictable, you just leave it alone. You know what I mean? And I've been concentrating on the indices actually, which has been more than a little hectic. So I've been taking very few trades. I've taken maybe about 5 trades in the last 3 weeks. If I'm being honest, yeah, about 3 weeks, about five, actually 6 trades. Yeah, so you got to be careful. Now let's go. Let's talk about the week ahead. On the economic calendar, Monday's a non-red folder day, and Friday we have Good Friday. So a lot of bank holidays, a lot of banks are taking the holiday. Okay, and you can see that on was it for the CAD, Tuesday and Wednesday are important days because it has the interest rate and CPI information coming out, and the Fed Chair Powell, he's going to be speaking on Wednesday for the USD and regarding the USD interest rates, and we have ECB on Thursday. They're going to be talking about their interest rate decisions and all. So there's going to be some juice in the market, so it'll be a good week to trade for sure. All right, and let's move on to the US dollar index. All right, what I want to point out is on the monthly, you can see that this mess, all right, this period of time was a range, right, that established support for this latest period of time, this period of ranging. All right. And we are at that support right now. Okay. All right. This is a key level of support 100, the 100 price mark. Right. Now, what does that mean? Well, what you want to make note of is I've been telling you, if you've been watching my videos for the last 3 months, I've been telling you that we're probably heading towards these lows, and we finally hit it. All right, and these lows, there's a lot of liquidity under, and when price takes a major liquidity point, you expect some kind of pullback, and any boo-boo the clown could see that we are extended. This is an extended market. You would expect some kind of correction to come. All right. Doesn't mean it has to happen next week, but you expect some kind of correction to come. Let's look at the weekly. All right. You can see that we took that low and we finally took this low with a wick. All right. We didn't just trade through and close. All right. We ran the low. All right. We swept the low. Let me say that. We swept the low as opposed to running the low. All right. Running through it and trading through it and closing. That's what we didn't do. So what we can expect, what I usually expect, is for price to start to correct the last impulsive move. Right? If we go to because the overall the US dollar index is still weak. The US dollar is weak, and it's been weak for quite a while, and we finally reached the end goal. I'm saying the end goal, but we reached the liquidity point, the external liquidity point. Now we're going to be looking for an internal liquidity point. And where would that be? I'm pointing out this bearish fair value gap. It looks like a bullish one. That's my fault. All right. I got this bearish fair value gap here. All right, with a volume imbalance inside, that I believe that price will find its way to, and then could potentially continue lower from. We are in a bearish market, so that I'm going with the trend until we see a market structure shift in the opposite direction. A break above here, we start trading above this, and a break above that. Then I'm starting to think, okay, we're on our way back to the highs. All right. But until that happens, now, all right, a pullback, a correction is what's in order right now. So I'm looking at this area here, which is at 178. All right. If we can pull back, the price starts to pull back to that. It's a brief moment, a brief near term trading, short term trade up. There's going to be some short term strength shown, and then quite possibly we'll resume the bearish trend afterwards. Got it? So bear that in mind. If we go to the 4-hour, you can see clearly that there is a volume imbalance, which I expect a reaction from, which is inside this bearish daily fair value gap. And I'm looking for price just to push up into that, find its, resistance, and then continue down towards these lows. So short-term strength, longer-term bearishness, which is according to the already overarching trend. Got it? All right. So maybe the beginning of the week we might see the bullish candles, and then we'll turn around. Let's bear that in mind for the rest of the majors. Let's go to EU. All right, the euro, you can see, has been very strong. All right, very strong. You see, I want you to keep this one in mind. Keep that high in mind here. This was around August. All right, August of last year to September, August to September area. All right, price just ran through that. Boom. All right, and closed we haven't closed yet. I'm sorry. Last week, yeah, this is a weekly candle. I'm sorry. We're on the weekly time frame. So yeah, we did close through it. It's a close. All right. Doesn't mean I'm leaning more towards it as an indication of bullishness to come. We may see a pullback to head towards that high there for the buy side liquidity. All right. But right now, I'm looking at this bullish candle and that bullish close above this high and the sweeping of that high. And I'm thinking, there's more bullishness to come. Is there something inside this candle that'll allow me to think that price is supporting higher prices? Is the market is supporting higher prices? And that would come in the form of a bullish fair value gap. And yes, there is one here. All right. And we are intersected by this high. All right. This is an area of fair value here. All right. And when it's intersecting a bullish fair value gap, it creates a pretty dependable area of demand, an area of support. All right. And I'm looking for price to make its way back here, and we'll see how price interacts with this fair value gap. I'm looking for a 1 candle, 2 candle rejection. That's what I'm looking for. So hopefully we can take it here. Do I want to take buys from up here? Heck no. You don't take buys at the high. You wait for a pullback. All right. Now, there may be some areas inside of this candle that on the lower time frame where you might see bullish fair value gaps. But you can see there was one here that was already used. Prices here right now. Could price continue higher from here? Certainly it could. All right. And if it breaks this high, I'm going to look at the nature of that break. Did it create bullish fair value gaps along the way so that it could come back and test those and continue higher? That's what I'll be looking for if it takes out that high. But I'm looking for price to pull back, and we can see if we can get on board here. All right. And if we look at the pound, if we go to the pound, we can see the same situation, similar situation anyway. But I want to mention something. What did I tell you last week? There was an area of demand here that I pointed out, and here we were on Friday. I said, "Hey, price is going to take this low, come back into this demand zone, and push higher." And that's exactly how it played out. And with that in mind, what are we looking for? Support. We're looking for market to support higher prices. This, why aren't you drawing? All right. This is what I'm looking at, the bullish fair value gap. All right. Price created a bullish fair value gap as it displaced higher. Are we heading towards this um, this high here? Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to take that high. But what would I like? What would I would like to see price pull back here first and then go higher. Now, remember, in this pullback, that means there's some strength being shown in the US dollar. What did I just show you? What did I just show you? In the US dollar, on the index, I'm thinking some short-term strength for longer-term bearishness, right? That's exactly what I'm looking for here as well. Short-term strength in the US dollar, the pullback price in the pound, and then pushing higher. So that's what I'm looking for. Could price continue up higher from here? Sure, it could. But again, I'm waiting to see how it would do something like that. And then I'll be looking for those bullish fair value gaps that it creates along the way that it could tap into and go higher, right? So same situation here in the Aussie dollar. I like the Aussie dollar, all right, but look how strong it is, right? We have this kind of recovery, V shape, right? But this is an area of supply, all right? We have a buy before the stronger sell-off, all right? Now, do I think this area of supply will hold? It may and may not, all right, because there's a lot of supply up here, all right. This is going to create a pretty nice speed bump for price to react to, but there is no a liquidity point below this area of supply. So this price could find its way, finding its way through that without a whole lot of resistance. That's what I'm trying to point out. All right. But I also want to mention too, last week's video, I pointed out that there was a fair value gap here on the daily. If I can show you that. All right. Right here. Okay. And I said this was Monday's. This was Thursday's candle. This is Friday's candle. I said price would come up here, tap into the fair value gap, and give a push down. Is that what happened? Doesn't look like it, right? No, you're wrong. I'm right. All right. Price did, and I left my arrow here from last week when I drew it. Price came up with this candle right here, pushed down, and then broke those lows. So give me some credit. That's all I want. Just want a little credit, a little credibility. All right. This is no longer relevant. Price took it out and we're on our way up. And price could very well start to turn around here. All right. But I would want to see the market make a break of market structure here. Right. Before I start thinking in terms of sells. All right. This, come on, man. What the heck just happened? This would constitute a once we break that low, that would constitute a shift in the market from bullish to bearish, and I'd be looking for a pullback for price to continue down lower. All right, until that happens, I'm still in buys. I'm still thinking buys, and that we may take out this high here. Okay, at this high here. All right, and once we do, that would signal, especially with this being relative equal highs up here, this is a very good draw on liquidity as far as buy side liquidity is concerned. And this would be a good reason for price to continue higher, in my opinion. Boom. So we'll see. All right. If the US dollar does what it's going to do, I'm thinking showing short-term strength and then longer-term bearishness, then that is the scenario that I'm really expecting to play. The New Zealand dollar, very similar to the Aussie dollar. All right. And what you want to notice in both of them, in all three of them, actually, look, euro has a bullish fair value gap here. All right. the pound has a bullish fair value gap here that it could use to go higher. All right, the Aussie dollar. Where's the bullish fair value gap? All right, down here. All right, you can see that it didn't leave on here. All right, so it may react. It may react here. This one might react and then go higher. All right, will it come all the way down to this fair value gap here? I doubt it. We'll see. But right now, because it closed so much higher than the previous candle, next candle theory says there's a good chance it'll close. The next candle will take out the high of the previous candle. We'll see if it breaks that midpoint. And the New Zealand dollar is no different. We're already broken that point, that bearish move, and we're getting close to the highs right now, and that would expose these highs once this buy side liquidity target is taken. And you can also see that we have a bullish fair value gap here as well, so it could use this to go higher just like the others can. All right, I'm looking for price to boop boop. Let's see. We'll see if it does so. All right, but I believe this target is going to be taken. All right, now CAD. CAD has the same bullish fair value gap, has the same strength showing. All right, this is CAD futures, folks. This is CAD futures, and I mentioned it last week. I said we're probably going to be pushing higher. Now, where did I show you that? I showed you that in the US CAD, US dollar CAD. All right, and the futures. The futures are CAD USD. All right, you have to remember that. So you have to do the opposite in the US dollar CAD if you're trading on FX brokers. And what did I show you? I showed you this this area of supply that I said price would push into it and drop from it. I left my little squiggly line from last week. All right, and you can see that how that played out. Yay. Okay, now if we just draw that price looks like it wants to go lower because it developing these bearish fair value gaps. You just, it has reason. It just has good reason to think that it's going to go lower. That's it. I mean, there's nothing else to it. All right, maybe a pullback into the bearish fair value gap to go lower. All right, but that's the way things stand right now with the US dollar CAD. All right, and the CAD futures up. All right, maybe a pullback and then further up. All right, if we look at the Swiss, same deal. I looked at it last week. I said, hey, there's a bullish fair value gap here. All right, I'm looking for price to push into it and and push higher. All right, yes, it did. It did come back in tagged. Tagged right here. Boom, and then went higher. Boom. All right. Where's my credit? Give me some credit. Give me a comment down in the comment section. But yes, it did continue higher. And what is it doing? It's showing a lot of strength. It took out this old high from way back when, September 2024. And what do I expect now? Maybe a pullback into a bullish fair value gap. And I'm looking at this one right here. All right. We have a liquidity low. All right. We got a liquidity low that price could push down into and maybe tap into this fair value gap in order to see higher prices. I'm looking for that because we just took a very important high, a major high, and there's a lot of liquidity up there. I'm looking for a pullback and then higher prices. That's all there is to it. All right. If we and as far as US dollar Swiss, that was Swiss futures. This is Swiss, the US dollar Swiss FX pair. And what I'm looking for is the same thing. There's a bearish fair value gap here. If we look at the daily, you can see that bearish fair value gap here as it pushes down. And all we have to do is just be patient, look for a 2 candle rejection, and maybe we can get those lower prices from there. All right. We're taking out some very good liquidity points here. And over here. This is